God bless you, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. It's a nice day out, so I'm outside. Um, and apparently everyone else is. So they're out here mowing the lawn and chopping things down. I don't know what they're doing, but they're out here. So I hope you can hear me through the hum of all the machines. Um, but I had a couple dreams. One of the dreams that I had last night. I was looking out and I saw all like these little sproutlets, little baby plants, and it was just like a really quick snapshot. But it was just like the saying, a picture says 1,000 words. So just looking at that, I was able just to glean that the plants, they were cared for by someone. Someone had took the time to, sprout the seeds, make sure they germinated, make sure they grew up, and protected them and everything. But they were abandoned. It was like the person um, got them that far, but then they just dropped them, like they just left them to the elements. And you know, here in the Northeast, we have been experiencing a pretty chilly spring. We've gotten frost, I think, last week, and so people who garden, it's a little concerning because it's like, if you have any potted plants, or if you decided that you wanted to put some things into the ground, you were in trouble because the frost came. But the picture that I was looking at was, whoever did the planting just abandoned these sprouts. So they were just left on their own. So whatever was going to happen, if they wasn't going to make it through the frost or whatever's going to happen was going to happen to them. So although I love talking about gardening, this dream isn't about gardening. This dream is about those of you who are not babies in the Lord, who, you know, at one point in your life, you were doing the receiving. You were doing, someone had poured into you, and you grew, and you're not a baby anymore. And so now you've moved on to the part where you're able to disciple someone, where you're able to maybe not even just disciple one person, but maybe multiple people. And God is saying that in this new endeavor where you are discipling, where you're mentoring, God is saying, make sure you don't drop that person. Make sure you don't drop those sproutlets, um, because it's more to it than just bringing somebody to the Lord. It's more to it than having someone introducing them to the Lord, and they give their life over to the Lord, and they get saved. Okay, when that happens, it doesn't mean that rainbows are going to come out and their life is going to be all changed and turned around and everything is just going to be wonderful, and they're able to just, you know, go through go through life, be able to utilize the tools of living a kingdom life. So you cannot just drop them. You have to disciple them. And so this is what God is showing me. Um, it's not enough to have folks just come to your seminar. It's not enough to um, even do an internet um, teaching and just leave them. People have questions. People have um, unique situations. People need other people to pray them through. And I remember there's a verse in, um, well, I don't remember where it's at, but I know it's in there. I know the word, but I don't know chapter and verse and stuff like that. But I know what's in there. But there's a part where Paul says to pray until Christ be formed in them, and And I'm paraphrasing. This is not exactly what he said, but it's basically the gist. So we have to birth, we have to basically continue to pray for these people, continue to show them the tools of how to live a kingdom life. And we throw around those words: kingdom, kingdom life, kingdom, all this stuff. Kingdom, kingdom, but nobody really explains what that is. And that's something that can be explained between you and your mentee, your disciple. It's something that could be explained, and also, to help them apply it in their life, to their life situations, to the issues that so often come with living on the earth, living inside this world. So, but that's basically it. That dream was about discipling. The dream was not it was not about gardening. It was not. The dream is about not just dropping people. Okay, now it comes a time where the person needs to come up off the baby milk and should be able to um, survive. I want to say on their own, but with survive with Jesus, survive by utilizing the tools. But you'll know when that time comes. You'll know when that time comes. Um, and then even after that, you can still keep contact with the person as as friends, or as comrades, or whatever. So but yeah, that's what that was about. Is just not dropping people. And you can also take that over into your children. Now, some of you might say, well, of course I'm not going to, you know what I mean? That doesn't even make, but look, if we want to be honest, there's times where you can become so frustrated with your children because they seem like they're going so far to the left of, you know what I mean, how you raised them. And God is saying, don't drop them either. Don't give up on them either. Don't drop them. Continue to pray for them. No matter what the situation is, no matter what the situation is, you might have to, depending on their age, if they're of age and they're an adult, you might have to say, you have to leave this house because we don't do, XYZ in this house. But you're still not going to drop them, because at the minimum, you could always pray. So don't just drop them and just say, what, I'm done. I don't have no son, or I don't have no daughter. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Always pray, because mothers and fathers, parents, that is the those mothers' prayers, fathers' prayers, grandparents' prayers. Those type of prayers hold a lot of weight in the spirit. So you don't never want to lay that down. You don't never want to lay that type of authority and power down out of frustration, because that's what the enemy wants you to do, is to get frustrated. And I know I'm kind of getting off topic, sort of, but that's what God's been talking to me of late, is the talking to me about mothers, talking about the great authority and power that mothers have. And I'm the type of person, I'm like, I don't like to just start talking about stuff just because Mother's Day is coming up, just because. But this is what God has been talking to me about. So he's been talking about mothers, and the great wisdom, the great authority and power that comes with being a mother. And when I say mother, I'm not just speaking about someone who has given, biological birth. I'm speaking about spiritual mother. I'm speaking about someone who has stood in the role as a mother, even though they did not give birth. It could be aunt, you know what I mean? It could be, whatever. You adopted a child, you still a mother. Okay. So God has been speaking to me a lot about that. So I'll probably be back on here and speak about that specifically about what he's telling me about it. Um, but yeah, just to wrap up, excuse me, it's pollen out here. Just to wrap up, don't drop your sproutlets. Okay, don't drop the sproutlets because over here in the Northeast, when the temperature when they said it's going to be frost, I had to go out there and cover up some stuff. You know what I mean? So you gotta same with you. You have to cover your sproutlets in prayer. You have to cover them. You know, whether it be your spiritual children, natural children. I hate to say natural, biological children because every child is natural. Okay, so um, but yeah, so I I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye bye.